Welcome to episode 291 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It's fucking Sunday, people. It is Sunday. Sunday the 21st of May, 2023. I hope you're doing well out there, people. On a fucking bright and sunshiny fucking day in the fucking Isle of wherever we are. Fucking British Isles. Fucking scorching here in Northamptonshire today. I think it must have gone up to a heady height of 19 degrees. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on to your fucking horses. Lash them down. Summer's here, baby. Well, kind of, you know what I mean? It looks like it's going to be a nice week this week, but you don't tune into this for a fucking weather report, do you? No. You want to get to the hard stuff. You can't say nitty-gritty anymore, can you? It's one of the sayings we've lost, isn't it? And rightly so. And rightly so, we should say. Anyway, fucking hell. Let's not have cause any more storms or scandals this week by bringing up outdated phrases related to slavery. What a way to start the podcast on the Sabbath, people. On Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a shorter one. I ain't going to lie to you. Today, I am literally just fucking punching in with this. Although it is like 5:30 in the evening, but I've been very fucking busy this weekend. We're halfway through having a rethink with a podcast about what we're going to do. It's going to continue going, but in what sort of like format and adding different things to it. So who knows, people? But I've literally not had the time this week to settle down and get anything done. I've been fucking gigging virtually every night. And then I didn't have a gig for Saturday night, and then something came in. I did a few new material nights this week. Still working on the new material, which is had a bit of a resounding bit of success this week. It's getting there. So, it's throwing shit at a wall, isn't it? See what sticks and then rewriting that shit. That's essentially it. I am a shit artist, for want of a better phrase, really. So, it's been quite a busy week this week. Last night, it's Sunday now. Last night, Saturday, I picked up a gig on Friday night for Saturday night in Bournemouth. Holy fucking shit. I should start making little videos when I go round to places. I think I might do that. I was talking to an act last night and he does that. And I was like, that sounds like a fucking glorious idea for old Benny boy to do. So I might do that. Start making little videos when I go back, and then I'll just stick them at the end of this. Holy shit. I'll just put them out separately. I don't know. I've only just got my head around, because like every fucking act out there right now, I am putting stuff on, got into the reels, people. I know, I've only done one to try and wrap my fucking head around it. How to post up on TikTok, Instagram and Facebook reels. So that's what you've got to do these days, people. I know. Dragged kicking and screaming into the 21st century. This podcast, who knows where this could end. This podcast could be done by AI in a few weeks' time, and I'm literally sitting on the sofa while, there's a deep fake version of me, which some people I've probably dated in the past would say, no, that is you. Oh, dear. There could be a deep fake version of me sitting at this desk, looking into these fucking cameras, trying to get a fucking colour right on the cameras. I don't think I've done it, to be honest. Trying to get the colour to match up with the fucking main camera here, which, by the way, we have working again, which I managed to discover that the issue with the main camera here at Briggs Towers, the fact I'd fitted a fucking extension Let's cut down on the swearing. It's the Sabbath, Ben. Come on. Be a good boy. I'd cut down. I'd fit in an extension for the USB, but the USB isn't like one that takes power, so it was just like, just a normal USB thing, so the power wasn't going to it, but now it is. Anyway, you didn't need to know this shit. This is just the trials and tribulations of running a podcast, people here. So I've negotiated the how to do the reels. I just need a the first reel I posted up was just it's like it gets views and shit like that, but we're not getting carried away with the views. We're not going to get fucking locked into that, because you can go down a fucking rabbit hole with that, and at every 5 seconds you're fucking checking your phone to see how many views the fucking video's got. I know, I'm not saying I haven't done that. I'm not saying I haven't done that, people. But, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. That's the first decision I've made about this. All I'm going to do is post up clips from gigs. I'm recording every single gig I do now. New material night, weekend club night, whatever it is. It's I'm fucking recording it, baby. That's it. Just to watch back for myself, and just see how fucking insane it sounds, or how the material is going. Which, to be perfectly honest, is helping a little bit. I don't know how much of the video from last night's gig. I was emceeing last night in Bournemouth, which I don't know if anybody's been to Bournemouth recently, but it is not a choice location to go. I don't know what it is with like seaside towns. You'd have thought, especially in this country, right? You go to seaside towns abroad and they're fucking beautiful, right? There's no tacky shit, none of that shit. No, maybe it's not the location, it's the people in this country. But Bournemouth seems very much like Blackpool. It's tacky shit. There's hen do's, stag do's, bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, as they say in the States. That's my American accent. Yeah, I'm working on it. There's just hen do's and stag do's all over the place, and they're fucking hammered. I couldn't think of anything worse than having a stag do. First of all, having a stag do. I couldn't think of anything worse than that. But I couldn't think of anything worse than actually having a stag do in like a tacky seaside town. Everywhere's the same. Like Brighton's a little bit, more cosmopolitan, but that could be because of the influence of the gays down there. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe if we had a heavy gay community in all of our seaside towns, then there'd be a little bit nicer places to go. That could be it, couldn't it? Maybe I've struck a chord there. There should be a certain population by the sea of gay guys, and they will just clean up the mess and stop all the tacky shit happening, make it look nice. I don't know. I haven't been to Brighton for ages, but like the last time I was there was an awful lot of homeless people around, so I don't know, people. Maybe aesthetically, the gay guys clean up the area, but they do leave people homeless. That'd be a very, very sweeping statement to make about gay men. Say what you like about gay men. They're all right. They make stuff look nice. But I tell you what, they don't have to leave people homeless. There's an awful lot of homeless guys. There is in Brighton anyway. When I was, it may have been cleaned up. I doubt it in a year. There's never any, That was one thing that they seemed to cure, wasn't it? During, not gayness. That's a fucking, nobody snip that, please, or I'm going to be in deep shit. Let me finish this thought. That's one thing they cleaned up in lockdown, wasn't it? All of the homeless people. They didn't want them hanging around sort of like London and that, so they So they managed to house them then. And then all of a sudden, when the threat is gone, they just fucking release them. So we can sort out the homeless people, but only when it's a national emergency and it's going to cost people money, it would seem. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I was in Bournemouth last night. So I got back at fucking 1:30 in the morning. I'm not going to... I've already pissed off one of my mates on the on the phone to him yesterday. I've tried to ring him in the day and he didn't pick up. Then he rang me right at the wrong moment when I was stuck. They'd closed one of the roads, the A34, on the way down to Brighton. They closed that near the A44. So I had to do a divert through some place. It was near Abingdon. It wasn't Abingdon, but it was near there. And then I get to the town centre there. The divert takes you through the town centre. So you get to the town centre on a Saturday afternoon at 4:00. And it's just chock-a-block, man. There's just cars everywhere. And old Benny, old Italian job Benny, in his fucking Mini, thought, we're in a Mini here. We can do a fucking Italian job manoeuvre and get around this shit. So instead of going through the town centre, I turned left, hooked a left. And I could just see my sat-nav recalculate. And the bit where I was going straight and then left, I could just go straight and then right and cut that corner off. And I thought, this is fucking amazing. We're going to make a few fucking minutes here, Bennett boy. Like that. Just about to crank up the Self-Preservation Society. There we are. And every fucking road I went down was fucking blocked off. Like, because they must have problems there with people stealing cars. So they've got, like, the old streets, the old rows of, like, houses, like townhouses, those terrace houses. Halfway down the street, they're blocked off with bollards. Fucking great. No sign at the top of the road. So I went down one road and then thought, fuck, it must just be that one. And then went down the next one. It was that one as well and the next one as well. And then in the end, after half an hour of driving fucking round, I had to there's nothing worse than that. I had to rejoin the fucking queue that I would have been half an hour in front of if I'd have not just tried to be, you know, a 1960s fucking classic Italian job manoeuvre film. And just as I was like down one of the roads, my mate Lou rang me. And I was like, the fucking fuck. Because I'd said earlier on in the week I hadn't got a gig, and if I didn't pick one up, then if you fancy meeting up. And I was like, fuck me. Just losing my shit like that. It was like, you all right, Ben? Yeah, I think I'm all right. I need to calm down, man. And this is how I'm going to... You can see yourself going out, can't you? Like that way. You know, having a heart attack over something fucking that doesn't matter. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's the small stuff. Isn't it? I hate people who say that. I hate people who say that. And there's people I know and like who say that. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. But it's that sort of shit that just consumes your life, isn't it, people? There we go. Anyway, I got down to Brighton, parked in the car park there, just up the hill, and you walk down the hill down to the club. The club is a nightclub. Holy fucking shit. I'm emceeing it. There's about 80 in, I think. They're all sitting on the dance floor. It's got various other rooms in this club, by the way, which would be conducive to a comedy audience. The acoustics in this fucking room where we're doing the comedy, it's just bouncing all over the place. So you're just getting an echo, like, through the mic. It's not a necessarily warm experience. I think they do this as part of like a Groupon sort of thing. You book the hen do or the stag do or whatever, and then you just it includes a comedy night, getting bottled or glassed at the end of the night. But the thing about those sort of things is as we found out last night, is that, there's people literally been on the piss all day. So they're absolutely hammered when they come in, or they're well-oiled at least. Then they'll have a few more drinks. Then they're told to sit quiet. They've been on the piss all day. They've probably been out since the pubs open at 11. So by the time they get to you at like 8 o'clock at night when the night starts, they've had 9 hours worth of drinking. So it's been party time for 9 hours. And then they're told to sit there, watch the comedian, and laugh at the appropriate moment and not interject, which is never going to happen. There was a stag do who sat right at the front of the club. So they're the first 2.5 rows. Then behind them, there's a hen do. They're the next sort of like 2.5 rows. Then there's like couples in there gone on a fucking date. We've just seen these hen do's and stag do's and just gone, fuck this, we're going to sit right at the side there. And then there's a booth of people, about 4 people. And then on the other side, there's like just couples as well. So as an MC, you've got to deal with all this shit. I've got, people just like calling out stuff. I've listened a little bit back to the video that I took last night, and it is just fucking whack-a-mole. That's it. That's all I'm doing for the first 5 minutes. It's just like bang, 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 putting people down. Trying to tell them like what's in store for them. Not that they really give a shit, but why would they? They're on a stag do, aren't they? All they want to do is get hammered, go to a strip joint and see tits, and that's just the fucking hen do. Here we go. So I'm just playing whack-a-mole with them. The hen do weren't too bad, to be honest. It was second time around for both of them as well. So before the night starts, there's a woman who's on the stag do. I didn't ask why. I don't know. I think she's there to guide the stag through. It's his like fiance's friend or something. The fiance's dad was on the stag do as well. But she's come up to me with a picture of the wife the future wife holding a rolling pin, saying, "I'm still watching you," or whatever. So she goes, "Can you do that at the start? Walk on stage with that?" And I was like, "I'm not going to be doing that." I said, "I'll do it in the middle section or whatever, but I can't. There's other people here. It's not just about you and your stag do. You know what I mean, sweetheart? There's other people here." So I did that in the middle bit. Walked on stage with that, which you feel like saying, "I'm not a fucking jukebox, sweetheart," but it is what it is. That gig is what it is. It's just like your survival instincts kick in. Let's have some tea. Hang on. So you're trying to make it nice for the hen and the fucking stag and all that sort of thing. By the end of the night, there was one guy falling asleep. It hit 10 o'clock and that was it. It had too much. But it was lively, but it was fun. And to be honest, the start section, I usually do about 15 minutes when I'm emceeing at the start. Like I did 15 minutes and that was crowd work. Usually I'll do a little bit of material in there, but I just couldn't get anything out. It was just a case of just hoping, just battering people down, setting the rules, setting that you don't speak to the people on the stage and that. And then after about 10 minutes of that was fine. Then, you're setting up for the first act to come on. It was quite a fun night. You just feel a little bit, I don't know, those sort of nights you just feel a little bit, oh man, am I just doing this for the fucking money? There's no artistic creativity to it. I know my stuff isn't fucking super artistically creative, but we endeavour to get to a stage where it is, people. You know what I mean? That's it. So that was Bournemouth last night, and just walking around just walking around, there's just groups of lads absolutely fucking hammered, chip shops all over the place. The place looks a state. I don't, I was near the centre. I didn't go to the beach. I have no idea because it took me so long to get there. I was going to have a little bit of a stroll about before I actually went to the gig, but I got there at about like 7:15. And the night was starting at 8, so I didn't have a chance to have a look about. And I haven't really... I think I went to Bournemouth. My parents took us to Bournemouth when we were kids. And there's various photos of me, paddling in the sea or whatever. God knows what's in there now. Just like used prophylactics floating around. Hey, Mum, is that a jellyfish? No. I don't know. So I did that this week. I've been up early today. I'll tell you what, I got in at like about 1:30, 1:15 this morning. I was absolutely fucking starving. Get to the services last night, 10:30, and you're like, oh yes. It says McDonald's closes at 11. No, they're closed because they were cleaning everything. Fucking hell. But that's probably done me some good, to be honest. That's probably a blessing in disguise. But at the time, you're like, I could have fucking hammered 2 McPlant burgers, 2 large fries, and a fucking chocolate milkshake last night. Although I was 2.5 hours away from home, and that is dicey. With no gallbladder, it's dicey having a chocolate milkshake when you're 2.5 hours away from home. You're going to obliterate a services toilet or the side of the road on the way back. I don't know. So it was kind of nice. I got back late, and then I was up at I got up at 7 this morning, so I had about 5.5 hours kip, and then I was down to the gym, baby. I know it's still going. Anybody on there out there following this fucking journey? And I thought I'd just do. I put it in my head, like you do that thing when you go into the gym. Oh, I'll just do a certain amount. I'll just do 15 minutes. I'm at the gym. You know what I mean? It's still a thing. 15 minutes. I'll do 15 minutes swimming up and down in the pool. I do like 2 lengths in a minute. So it takes me about 30 seconds to go down, 30 seconds back, right? So I think 15, that's probably 30 lengths. That'll do. I had 5.5 hours sleep, didn't I? You start justifying it to yourself, didn't you? And then you're happy with that. And then that little voice starts in the back of your head, doesn't it? You fucking pussy. You're only doing 15 minutes here, are you? Yeah? Is that what you're paying £38 a month for? Just a token gesture? Is that it? So I stayed like, a full half an hour in the pool. So, and then I had a sauna, sweated my tits off in the sauna for about 15 minutes as well. So I came out refreshed, but somewhat jaded because I hadn't had enough sleep. So my early start to the day today, I got up, went to the gym, made myself feel good, felt good about myself going, people. Holy fucking shit, yeah. I felt good. And then I came back and I spent about 2 hours doing my fucking accounts, which just takes up time, doesn't it? Mileage and all that sort of thing. I did that, and then I had a kip this afternoon. So from a promising start, this day has gone drastically downhill already. Dear. It's, I don't know, man. So anyway, we're going to put this out there. Things I did see this week, the Anna Nicole Smith documentary on, this is a big thing on Netflix, apparently. I watched it. I sort of like remember Anna Nicole Smith. She was a sort of like 90s Marilyn Monroe. It is a tragic story, but there is the thing about that documentary is they totally try and sell you the fact that she wasn't a gold digger, because if you're not aware of Anna Nicole Smith, she married a billionaire who was like in his late 80s, 90s, and she was accused of being a gold digger because she, for some reason, she was like at one point seen as the hottest woman on the planet. And for some reason, who knows, she was attracted to an 80, 90-year-old billionaire. Now, this is a guy who is frail as fuck. You know, it just looked really weird. Everybody said it was weird at the time and that sort of thing, because it is weird. And we all know, don't we? I know, like in the documentary, they say, oh, no, they had a deep connection and a deep love. Jesus. Come on, man. If that guy didn't have those billions, do you think if that guy was living on his own in a fucking house, you know, he's got a one-bedroom bungalow somewhere, he's got those little fucking stirrup things that old people have in their bathroom so they can take a shit, do you think she'd be interested? No, of course not. Everybody knows what it is. And she was saying, oh, it's a sexless marriage. No shit. I tell you what, you fucking spun that really well there. And she's gonna have it. We have a deep connection, but it is a sexless marriage. I don't think it was. I don't think that billionaire guy would be hanging around if you know, if it was a sexless marriage. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's a sexless marriage, but for some reason you give him a fucking birthday card with a Christmas card with her in the fucking Santa outfit, her fucking titties on display. But it's purely he's a very deep and understanding person. Fair play to him, though. I mean, if I was a fucking billionaire and I was 80, 90 years old, that's what you want, innit? You know, you've got everything in life, you know, but you're frail as fuck. But there's a woman who's willing to fucking get her titties out for you. And she's one of the hottest women on the planet. It's fucking amazing. Dear. For some reason, though, his children didn't understand this. I think in the end, she's sort of like... she ended up with nothing as well. That's the thing. I think like she got about 14 million over the stage of their marriage and stuff like that. But he wanted to give her half of everything, and she didn't. But obviously, she died of the amount of people and celebrities who die of an overdose of prescription drugs. You'd have thought people would have cottoned on by now that you can't mix fucking prescription drugs. It seems to be a very Americanized celebrity death, that does, doesn't it? Just a cocktail of fucking, you know, various antidepressants, uppers, downers, whatever. I don't really know what they are. I don't really know what they do. To be honest, I've never taken anything like that. I probably should at certain times. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just it was like she, and I think it's the sort of death she would have wanted, because it's a very sort of like, she was very like the 90s Marilyn Monroe. Blonde bombshell, you know, busty, quite vivacious. To be honest, I think she was actually better looking than Marilyn Monroe. But, you know, obviously damaged. Very, very fucking damaged. It was weird at the end of it when they did an interview at the end, and she was saying about how she had been abused when she was younger, when she was a child and all that sort of thing. And it was basically verbatim a story that her friend in the documentary had told her, and she'd stole that story for herself, which is weird, isn't it? Why would you need to, you know, have a tragic sort of, although like the media loves a fucking tragic sort of like rags to riches story like that, don't they? It's the old American dream. But yeah, you'd have thought by now. I mean, this was 90s, but there's still going to be celebrities who do it, isn't there? That fucking overdose from prescription drugs. There's, you know, It just goes to show the pharmaceutical industry make a fucking fortune about everything. That was the other thing I watched, that ADD documentary. I watched that the other week. I don't know if I talked about it last week on the podcast, but saying that all the private diagnoses online are basically, anybody can get diagnosed for ADHD over here. Is it ADHD still? Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or is ADD in America, isn't it? Attention deficit disorder. They've got no reason to be hyperactive about it over there. But yeah, it was. It's definitely a fucking fascinating documentary to watch. And you just see, like, from where she came from, and then she was basically surviving. I think that's the thing. I think she had a kid when she was about 19. She was stuck in a shit marriage with somebody she lived with locally. She didn't look that hot at that point. And then suddenly she starts stripping. She meets a billionaire. It's the old story. It's the old Hollywood story. She starts stripping, meets a billionaire. He buys her a house. She moves to fucking the Playboy mansion. She gets her tits enlarged, and then dies horribly of a drugs overdose. It's that old story. Jesus, fucking brutal, isn't it? The amount of people who just, Heath Ledger, River Phoenix, the amount of talent that has been wasted to drugs over the air, and also obviously created a lot of talent as well. So, it's a fine line. Be careful out there, people. Don't take too many aspirins or Lamsips. I don't know. We're doing half an hour today, people, because I am fucking tired. And then we're going to have a rethink what we're going to do. We might do some other bits and bobs. It might just be random rambling like it is now. There we go, a little bit of tea. Anyway, that is episode 291 of the Ben Briggs podcast. Holy fucking shit. I'll be back next Sunday, motherfuckers. Have a good working week. Get out there, smack your boss in the face. Go on, do that. Do that this week, smack your boss in the face and storm out. Anyone who does that, come back and report to me. Just to make sure none of this is legally blinding and I have not told anybody to do anything. Anyway, that is episode 291. Have a good week, motherfuckers. I'll speak to you next Sunday. Take care.